Hey everybody, this is your very first video tutorial, and this one is really important because it's going to help you understand the file storage mapping system here. And we're using this video in a variety of different classes, so you might be watching this in the photo class, the yearbook class, print shop, or graphic design, or the computer graphics. It's a wide variety. So the whole point of this video here is to help you understand how and where your images or digital files are, how you share them, and where they're at. The best way to help you understand that is to open this document here. Hopefully I will have put it in your Google Classroom under the Important Stuff tab or section. It's called File Storage Mapping. Now this is going to be a little bit different for each class, but this helps you understand where things can be saved, because regardless if you're dealing with photos or Illustrator files or Photoshop files, whatever they are, they could be anywhere, and it starts to get to be a mess. So here's what you need to understand. There's three main places that your pictures, your images, your files can be. One is in the Adobe Cloud. Now this says Photoshop here, but it's also Illustrator as well. So whenever we're working in an Adobe project or lesson, it could be in the Adobe Cloud. So I want you to understand that those files, those are universal. You can access them anywhere that you can open up Adobe software. So it could be at home, it could be here at school, but those are in the Adobe Cloud. If you are in the yearbook class or in the photo class, also on the internet. So these two are on the internet. That's why they're cloud-based. See, the cloud means you can get to them in multiple locations. You may have the Jostens yearbook site. That's where you may be uploading photos, okay? So this is primarily for the graphic students. You could have stuff in the cloud. This is primarily for yearbook and photo students, but you may have them back and forth, all right? So those two are cloud-based. The other one here is a physical location, and that's the school. You can save things on the school as well. I should add one more here is Google Drive. So let's pretend out here there's one more cloud, and that's Google Drive. You can upload pictures and images straight into Google Drive. Okay, so I want to make sure that's clear. Okay, the reason there's more here with the school, because I want you to understand how and where you get things from one thing to the other. Okay, first of all, if you are dealing with a photo class, and this is the photo class only, you have an SD card. So that's literally the card that you take out of the camera. So those files are on that card. Now you can copy and paste files everywhere. So that's why it gets confusing, because you may have the same file on this, and here. But just know that they don't all connect, right? Because they're in different locations. Even though you're seeing copies, it's not the file maybe you've been working on. Okay, so you want to make sure you understand where you're saving things. So you have the SD card. You also then have your student folder. So the SD card is literally, it's just on that little teeny tiny camera card, that it's nowhere else, right? So if you lose that card, you lose the file. The other place is your student network folder. It's hard to see here, but if you open it up in Google Classroom, you can see it. Everybody has a drive on the computer, and I'm going to show you how to get to the file navigation system here in a second on here to go over these. You have your own folder that you have access to, I have access to, that you can save files. Any type of file, they can be saved there. The problem is, because it's in this building, guess what? You can't get to it when you're at home or anywhere else. It's stuck here in the physical building at the school. The other place you may have something in the school is in the downloads folder. That's even more specific. So this, even though it's in your student folder, you can access it from anywhere in the building on any different device, but as long as you're in the building. So if you were sitting at my computer, or you went to the library, or you were in the computer lab on the second floor, you would be able to access that as long as you were in the building. The downloads folder, that's specific to that actual computer. So if you save something in the downloads folder, it's on that computer at that station. So if you download something in the computer lab on the second floor, it will only be in the downloads folder on that computer in the school. So that's similar to the SD card. It's very, very limited on where you have access. Okay, so let's show you this file navigation system right now. Okay, so the way to get to this file navigation system is it's this little button right here. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to drag this over so you can see. So when you bring it up, I want you to pay close attention to this section over here. Okay, So you may have to expand where it says this PC, or it might say my computer. It just depends on the device you're on, but you're looking for this here. These are the drives of the computer. This is all the different avenues that you can go where something is physically saved in the network that you're at. So this is our building network, right? So it's those different sections. So if I expand that folder, so all I did was expand that little arrow. Now notice I have lots of places. Okay, so there's that downloads folder we were talking about. If I click downloads, you're going to see pictures pop up here. These are pictures that I've downloaded that I'm using, other files, lots of different things in here. So that's on this computer that I'm sitting at. So if I were to open up my laptop, they wouldn't be in this. I wouldn't have access to these because these are on the computer that I'm currently on. You also have the USB drive. That is where that memory card will show up when you plug it in. So if you take that camera card out of your camera, it's going to show up in USB drive, which is typically E, sometimes it's F. It just depends on how they map the computer. Also, if you have a thumb drive, that's those little plug-in drives, they're external drives, that's where that will show up as well. Okay, so you have your downloads folder, you have the drive. Then you guys are going to have your network folder, and you're probably also going to have a courses folder. Now you will not have these two. Okay, those are teacher ones only. Like I can get into your folder. So if I click on this, notice I can see all of the students. So I have access. Actually, I don't know if all of the teachers do. I just know I do as a tech teacher. And the comment is just for teachers. It's just for our files that you guys, they're boring. You guys don't even want to see them. All right, so in the courses folder, and you can play around with this today if you want to get in and open this and just kind of play around and see what's in your folders. If you click on courses, you're going to see that each department here at Rock Falls High School, they have a folder system. So if I click on the art one, this is all stuff for my classes where I want students to have access because anybody in the building has access to these files. Now, you can't change them. You can't save anything. You can't delete from these. Only the department head, so that's me. Like I'm the only one who can change things in the art folder. I can't go into the English departments and I can't delete stuff from there because I don't have the rights to that folder. Only Miss Kiger does or whoever in the English department. But you guys, from sometimes you will need to get into the art one because we, especially in a lot of the classes, we go to this one, the digital image archive. That's where all of the photos are saved. So if I like go into environments, these were our files. So we may use them. Might take a little bit to load here for different things. So lots of our files are saved that we want to be able to share with the kids where you have access to them. Okay, so that's the courses folder. Your personal folder will literally have your name on it. Now, if you click on that, and if you don't have the computer up and you're not logged in, let's go ahead and stop now and we're going to open this so you can see where this is. Now, I've been here a long time, so I have lots of stuff. I have lots of folders inside of folders, inside of folders, inside of folders. I've got a lot of things, okay? I take up a lot of space here at the school. But let's go ahead and locate your student network folder so you can see what's in there now. Okay, so let's stop the video and do that. All right, so I want to go over again. So that's what we just went over. That's that file folder. If you click here, notice I did a little folder. It's a folder. That's where you get to the downloads. That's where you get to your folder. That's where you get to the camera card. Now you can copy and move things around from folder to folder. I'm not going to take the time to do that today, but that's where those things may be. Okay? Clear as mud? All right, let's talk a little bit about this file navigation and how you change your visibility. So let's click on the courses tab. Let's double click. We're just double clicking real fast. It opens it up. Let's double click on Digital Image Archive. And let's just double click on animals, the one at the top. Now, if you're not seeing it like this, so this is the different viewing. If it's an image file, you can see the pictures by going up to view and you just click on either extra large, large, or medium. Because if I go back to like detail or list, it's just going to give me the file name. If I want to be able to see what that image is, oops, I've got to go to either large, extra large, or medium. If it's not an image file, so you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to show you. So notice some of these, it'll just say like Photoshop files can't be viewed. It might be a Google document, a PDF file. It won't show you a picture even if you turn it on to view and go to extra large or whatever. They're not image files, so you can't see them. They might be just text files. Okay, makes sense? Clear as mud? So again, let's review that. That's how you change it. So let's go back to courses. I'm going back to courses, art, digital image archive, animals. So that's how I'm changing that viewing. Okay, makes sense? All right, let me show you the cloud, the Adobe Cloud, just because every one of the classes is going to use these for the most part. Even the yearbook class will be using this from time to time. So I'm going to open up Photoshop, but just know it's this exactly the same with Illustrator. Okay, so we're going to the cloud here. So I'm going to open up Photoshop on my other screen for a second. Okay, so here's Photoshop. Once you open up Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, you have to save the documents, and you can save them in a couple different ways. Now, once you save in the cloud to begin with, it will keep auto saving to the cloud. So when I go to File, Save As, this is going to pop up. Now I can have my choice. I can save back on the computer. That's back to the building here, right? So the network here. But we always want to save in the Creative Cloud. So I'm always going to click that Save to Creative Cloud. And now you're going to see there's a whole new, it's kind of like that file navigation we have here at the school, but now it's for the Adobe systems. So you can set up your own folder system, which we will do in class. We're not going to do it until you can get in for your first lesson, because you may not even be into the Adobe software yet. But you can save it in here. So I'm just going to say practice sample, and I'm going to click save. Okay. In order to send this to me, because right now it's in the cloud, it's in your Adobe Cloud. I don't have access to it. I cannot see it. So the only way that I get, whether it's a lesson or a project, is you have to share it with me, because it's in your cloud. So you'll click share, and you're going to search for me. So you can just type in Shore, and this will pop up, and you click on it and hit share. Okay, and then it's sent to me. So if you are doing a lesson, then all you would need to do when it's done, so let's say in Google Classroom, I'm going to click on computer graphics, and I've got those Photoshop lessons assignments. If I had a lesson assignment in here, I would just hit mark as done, because you shared it with me. You don't have to do anything in Google Classroom. You just tell me, hey, sure, it's in here, because now what I'll do is now I will go to my Photoshop. I'm showing you how this works because that's just the easiest way. Because now I can go and I can go to my cloud. Click on my cloud here. And let's say I'm searching for something that Riley sent me. I'm typing his name, I'm like, look, oh, there it is, it pops up, right? And I'm gonna search by whatever you name it. So this is a good, whenever you are saving your documents, and I'll go over this in the video lessons, I'll tell you what to save it as. So you'll save whatever the lesson is, and you make sure that your first name, your preferred first name, is in the title. So when you go to File, Save As, you'll always put your name in there, so that I know what I'm looking for. Because if not, if you don't title your name and you don't share it with me, if I go to search for it, it's not going to pop up. So now I can open it up, and you'll see it's downloading. No, actually, you won't see that it's downloading. And now Riley's has popped up. This is in his cloud. See, it's a cloud document. I can see it's a cloud document. He shared it with me. I can actually make changes to it. And that's that. Okay, so that's sharing images with me. I'm not going to go over the Jostens site simply because not enough students for my classes. Everybody will need that. I will have a separate one to show you how to do that. Now is the time to go back, make sure you understand this navigating system. Oops, go back to here. That you understand this is where things would be. Primarily, we're going to be here and here if you're in a graphics class. If you're in a photography class, you're primarily going to be here and here, sometimes here. Okay. Every so often you will be here just because I will have you transfer some files. All right. No, it's not super clear yet, but it's a starting point. At least I'm trying to get some of it in your head to make it a little bit easier. All right. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me.